In a house where one parent screams, everybody knows who the problem is. Your father was the reason you learned to read a slammed car door from inside the house, the reason you knew which floorboards to avoid, the reason no friend of yours ever came over twice. He called you names you still haven't repeated to anyone. Nobody who grew up in that house has to be talked into calling it abuse. And if you ever describe it to someone, the person listening will wince in the right places and say the right things back to you. This video is about the other one. Your mother never did any of that. She kept her voice even. She never swore at you. And when things got bad, she was often the one who came in afterward to smooth it over, which is how she ended up filed in your memory as the reasonable one. But she's the one you still hear, not during the screaming. That was his. Hers comes later. When you're about to ask your boss for something and you decide not to, when you catch yourself in a photo, when you've made a small mistake at work, and the sentence that shows up in your head about what kind of person makes that mistake is in her phrasing, in her exact words, delivered in that calm tone she used. She had a talent for saying it in front of people. Some remark about your weight at the dinner table with your aunt sitting right there. Some story about you at 14 that she told at every gathering for a decade because it always got a laugh. Some correction of the way you said a word in front of company with a little smile. And if your face changed even slightly, she had the second half ready, that she was joking, that you know she's just honest, that you've always been too sensitive. So you learn to keep your face still, which is a skill you still have and still use at work when somebody says something shady to you. What she did takes longer to name because every piece of it was defensible. Try repeating one of her lines to somebody now and listen to how small it sounds once you've taken it out of the house and the tone she said it in. That's the trap. You can hand someone your father's behavior and they'll understand it immediately. But hers requires you to explain the tone and the timing and the 15 years of it before anyone gets why it landed. And most of the time you give up halfway through and say your mom was just critical. Then there's what she did with him. And this took you the longest to see. She knew exactly what set him off, and she knew exactly how to deliver information so that it would. She'd wait until he was home and in a mood and then bring up whatever you'd done, framed just so. Or she'd tell you to go ask him about it right when she knew what the answer would be. Or she'd say, wait until your father hears about this, and then let you sit in it for 4 hours. She never raised a hand and she never raised her voice. She just aimed him. And then when it was over, she'd come sit on the end of your bed and tell you she wished he wouldn't do that. And you'd be so grateful for the company that it never occurred to you to ask how he'd found out. So you left that house angry at one person, and you've spent your adult life sorting through what he did. And meanwhile, the other one calls you every Sunday, and you can't explain to anyone, including yourself, why you feel worse after those calls than you did in the years he was screaming. His voice stopped when you got out. Hers didn't, because she wasn't putting fear into you. She was telling you what you were, and you believed her. And you took that with you into every job and every relationship you've had since. You're allowed to be angry at both of them. Naming what she did doesn't mean he was fine, and it doesn't require you to decide which was worse. You don't have to build a case or measure one against the other before you're permitted to be hurt by either. He taught you to be afraid. She taught you what you deserved, and both of those are still running. The only thing that changes is whether you're still giving her credit for being the calm one. There's more where this came from. We've written several books on family dynamics, the patterns that look fine from the outside and the ones that don't, and you'll find all of them at the estrangementproject.com, which is also linked in the description. If you had one of each in your house and you only ever got to be angry at one of them, the comments are open.